Hi there, and welcome to the Accepted Authority podcast. My name is Greg Roworth, and each week on the Accepted Authority podcast, we discuss items and challenges about growing a consultancy practice. And specifically, we focus on the strategy of authority positioning, which is the ideal strategy for helping you be positioned as the authority in your market so that have your ideal clients coming to you rather than you having to find more clients and have the challenges around the time and effort that takes. In this week's podcast, what I want to focus on is what is it that you offer? And the reason for that is that I see most marketing attached to consultancy firms being about who they are and what they do, as I've remarked about often on this podcast. But the reality is that no one is really interested in who you are and what you do until they find it relevant to you. However, one way to cut through that relevancy challenge is to have an offer that is really relevant to your target market so that they can immediately see the value you have to offer them. So, what is it that you offer? The challenge here is to get away from the concept of who you are and what you do. People don't want to know that you're a consultant, or they don't want to know that you specialize in whatever field that you operate in before they know what's relevant to them. So whether you're in a networking meeting, whether you're presenting your firm on a website or in a seminar or whatever situation you might be in where you're talking about your firm and what it is that you're about, it is so much better to frame that in the terms of a value proposition or an offer rather than who you are and what you do. It doesn't, often the who you are, what you do statement is the end of the conversation. It's like it puts a ceiling on any conversation or topic that takes the conversation any further. So if someone comes up to you in a networking meeting and they say, hi, what do you do? If we say, well, I'm a consultant, or I specialize in X type of consultancy, that's often the end of the conversation, isn't it? You've probably experienced that and you wonder where to take it from there. Now, if you can change that conversation about focusing not on the profession that you represent or the work that you're involved in, and frame that around an offer, then that can change the dynamics of those sorts of conversations quite dramatically. So if, for example, someone asks you, what do you do? If you can then talk about, I help specific types of people or specific types of firms with a specific type of problem to achieve a specific end result, then we've got something more to talk about. Now, networking situation or a conversation like that, often it's going to be very difficult to have the right person in front of you. And it does happen on occasions, and I've had it happen to me where I've used that terminology and specifically what I said to in answer to that question to a couple of people at one meeting is that I help consultancy firms attract more premium clients through strategic authority marketing. Now, both people, and they weren't the only ones I spoke to in that networking meeting, but the two specifically who wanted to carry on that conversation further were consultants struggling with client acquisition who really were going to networking meetings and that was their only way of finding new clients. So when they heard I helped them attract new clients consistently and predictably with strategic authority marketing, first of all, it's relevant. They are a consultant. They are looking to attract new clients, and the strategic authority marketing was a new concept to them that sparked the interest that caused them to say, I want to know more about that. So in that sort of situation, we have an opportunity to build interest. And really, it comes back to the concept I've talked about around building and developing relationships that turn into clients. We can't expect to sell on a first date. You cannot expect to sell consultancy services in an initial meeting, and by the same token, you cannot expect to sell consultancy services through a website or any marketing communications in a short time frame. You cannot expect to put out a promotion or maybe a post on LinkedIn and expect someone to get on the phone and say, I need your help. It just doesn't work that way. However, when you make an offer, people will respond by taking the next step. And that next step from that initial conversation, where you've entered that conversation that's relevant to their situation, to where you're discussing the problem they have, the next step they will take is, I want to know more. Now, that's all we can really ask for. We cannot expect our clients to jump over a number of different hurdles to say, yes, I need you to work with me on that problem. They're not ready for that yet. Your clients aren't in a position to be able to trust you enough with their problem. They don't know enough about you yet to understand that you can solve their problem. All you've done in that situation is spark their interest. And really, that is all you want to do and all you need to do in that first intersection of your business with theirs. Now, it's up to you to build that offer through a sequence of interactions with clients so that you bring them through the process, matching your marketing process with their buying process. So what is it that your clients need to know? What is it that your clients need to walk through in order to know more about what you do, know more about the results you can achieve for them, and know more about your background, your credentials, your credibility that builds the level of trust that they can make a decision that, yes, you are the right solution for them and that you have the right offer for them. So building in offers into our marketing process gives us a lot more authority in being able to take our clients through a journey where they see us as the authority, they learn to trust us as the authority, and they learn to decide to bring us on as the solution for their problem. So come back to the way that you're marketing at the moment. What is it that you see in the way that you're presenting yourself and your firm? How do you set yourself up as the authority? Is it about an offer? Is there a sequence of offers that you can make? Are you talking about who you are and what you do? Or are you talking about who they are and the problem they have and the solution that you can provide? Now, I hope you can see the relevance of doing marketing the second way, because the first way really gets no traction, and you've probably experienced that. If that's how you're operating, maybe you see your website as a place people can go to when they hear about you and want to know if you're credible or not. And while that's not a bad reason to have a website, it really is a very basic reason, and it doesn't do the job that a website can do if you develop the systems in your marketing and utilize your website in that process to build a chain of events or a chain of decision-making opportunities for your clients to go further with you. Now, if they see that you can take them through a series of steps that they need to take to decide on who to help them solve their problem, then you're creating a marketing system that gives you the authority and the credibility for people to be able to trust you. If you don't do that, you're really setting yourself up for disappointment so often. And if they do decide to take a punt and think maybe they're the right people for us, but you get into a sales meeting on the back of that, they've got all these questions and there's a lot of skepticism that you have to overcome in a sales meeting. So when it's all about you and who you are, you're tempted in that sales meeting to continue that process to justify your skills, your credibility, your credentials, and you make it all about you instead of about the client. And really, what is most important to the client is their situation. They want to know that you understand them before you try to get them to understand you. It's the basic Stephen Covey principle of seek first to understand before trying to be understood. It applies very much in marketing, and it applies very much in the process of making an offer. This is what shows understanding. When you can demonstrate to your clients that you understand their situation, you know who they are, you know what their problem is, and that you've been around long enough to have developed a unique solution to their problem, that's what sets you apart from everyone else who's just boasting about their own experiences and their own credibility and what have you. That's what makes a real difference when you have offers that people see value in right from the start. When you have an offer that helps educate your clients at the start, when they've got questions, when they have doubts, when they have insecurity, and you offer to educate them around that problem and a potential solution, they're going to jump at that. They will want to know more. Often I hear people saying, well, yeah, people's attention spans are very short these days. They don't want long pieces of information. They don't want to spend 30 minutes reading something, or they don't want to spend an hour at a webinar. And my experience is that opinion is ill-informed, because when people are engaged about something that's relevant to them, they will spend as long as it takes for them to get an answer to their problem. When the urgency is great, when the need is high enough, people will spend whatever time it takes to get to the solution that they need. So where things are not relevant to people, no way will they spend that amount of time. And this is where we often get some level of confusion or a level of misinformation, I guess, because no one will spend 30 minutes to read information that's not relevant to them. And that's where we get caught up in our own marketing when we put out information about us particularly that's not relevant, and we get no interest. We get no one reading it. We get no one paying attention to it. So we can easily form the opinion that no one's going to take the time to read anything of any length. But that is not true when you create information that is totally relevant and an exact match for your client's needs. Then they will take as much time as they need to research, to understand, to get to the point where they're ready to go ahead and take the next step. Now, that next step may not yet be come and have a sales conversation with me. It may not be, I'm interested in what you do. Come and tell me about your services and give me a proposal. There may be some other steps to take in between that first interaction and that final sales proposition. We need to understand our clients well enough to know what else we need to offer to bridge that gap. What I call going through a chain of beliefs. What are the beliefs that your potential clients are going to have at various points on their buying journey, so that you can provide the information that helps them make those decisions, where that helps them move through that chain of beliefs so that they can move closer towards buying from you and solving their problems in the best way possible. So I really don't have much more to say about this process today. I hope you can see the value of presenting offers in your marketing and presenting value with those offers that are relevant to your client situation. That really helps flush out who those clients are, first of all, that you identify the clients that are your best clients in your marketing, that you identify the problems that they have so that they understand that you understand them, and so that they have an offer that they can take action on to move closer to that final buying decision. So that's the process that we talk about in our strategic authority marketing system. If you'd like to know more about that, then reach out on my website at businessflightpath.com and opt in for one of our information products there to help educate yourself a little bit more about how this process works, the value of it, and what you can do to take the next step with us. If you'd like to reach out directly to me, there's also opportunities to do that on LinkedIn and Facebook. Just search Greg Roworth and find me and send me a direct message, and I'll respond to that gratefully. And each week we extend our conversation with you as the consultant firm owner to help you grow your business successfully around becoming the accepted authority in your market. So that's it for me today. Greg Roworth out.